Come on, Leah, he sneered through the phone, voice full of sangrit arrogance. You never even go there. I just listed it for the summer. Airbnb says it's already booked out. Why ruin everyone's fun? The words hit harder than waves in a storm. Outside my apartment window, the city rain blurred the glass, but in my head I was standing barefoot on my beach porch again, smelling cedar and salt. My lock screen pinged, notifications from his guests, photos of my house, my towels, my view. And under it all, a family group text from Mom, don't start drama. He's just helping. HY everyone, my name is Ilara Winslet, I'm 29. And if you think blood automatically means loyalty, you've never watched family turn your peace into profit. The beach house wasn't a luxury, it was my resurrection. I'd bought it with 3 jobs and an overdrafted heart, painting walls myself until sunrise. When I signed that final document, I whispered to the empty rooms, you're safe now. And now my own brother was selling that safety by the weekend. I opened the Airbnb link. There it was, Ocean Haven by Leo, 30 glowing photos. My grandmother's quilt folded on the bed, my journal stacked like decor, even the chipped mug I drink cocoa from in storms. The caption said, owners chill, minimal rules. He wasn't just stealing my home, he was rewriting my story. By nightfall, I was driving toward the coast. The highway was a ribbon of glassy black, reflecting the red pulse of my hazard lights when I stopped to breathe. At the shoreline, the air turned sharp and alive. Every board of that house creaked like it remembered my weight. I changed the door code, then the gate padlock, fingers trembling but precise. Outside, the tide hissed against the rocks, whispering, take back what's yours. My phone buzzed again, group chat. Mom, be reasonable. Leo, you're being abusive. Uncle Ray, family doesn't call cops. But headlights were already sweeping across the dunes. Engines cut, doors slammed, laughter spilled into the wind. They'd all come, family, luggage, entitlement. I stood behind the locked glass door, heart steady, face unreadable. He rattled the handle and shouted, open up. Guests check in at 4. The house fell perfectly silent. In that hush, the ocean pulled back, slow, powerful, certain, and for the first time in years, so did I. He slammed his palm against the door again. Ilara, stop being crazy. You can't just lock your family out. Through the glass, I saw their reflections, Mom holding a casserole dish like some peace offering, Aunt June already taking selfies with the sea behind her, and Leo pretending to laugh. He always laughed before he exploded. I cracked the window just enough to speak. This is my house. You listed it without permission. You're trespassing. He smirked, leaning close enough for the smell of beer and arrogance to reach me. You wouldn't even have this place without Dad's loan. I breathed in through my teeth. Dad didn't loan me anything. He co-signed when you refused. That landed. His jaw twitched. You're overreacting. We drove 3 hours. Just let us stay the weekend, guests are still coming. Don't embarrass yourself. Embarrass myself. That phrase had followed me my whole life. The time I turned down the family business. The time I moved out at 22. The time I bought something they couldn't afford. It was never about respect, it was about control. Inside, my phone buzzed again, Airbnb notifications. Guest cancelled due to host conflict. Guest requested refund. Account under review. He'd used my name on the host profile. Every message hit like a slap. I unlocked the door just enough to slide the new lease copy toward him. Step off my property, Leo. I'm giving you 10 seconds before I call the cops. Mom's eyes widened. You wouldn't. Try me. He laughed, but his voice cracked. You always have to play the victim, here? I lifted my phone, hit record. Say that again. He froze, realizing it was already filming. His smirk melted as my calm voice filled the space. This recording goes straight to Airbnb support and the local sheriff's department. The color drained from his face. For the first time, silence won. The ocean roared behind him like applause. He turned to the family. She's insane. But Aunt June's camera had been rolling the entire time. Her video would hit TikTok before the tide even turned. And by morning, the comments would say everything I never needed to. By dawn, the storm online had already started. My notifications were chaos, Screenshots of Aunt June's video spreading like wildfire. Brother tries to steal sister's beach house, gets locked out. The clip had over 500,000 views. Comment sections were split between sympathy and disbelief. But one thing was clear, Leo's performance had backfired spectacularly. Still, I didn't celebrate. Not yet. The house was quiet except for the gulls tapping at the window and the rhythmic pull of the tide. My coffee steamed in the same chipped mug he'd shown off to strangers online. My sanctuary felt violated, but alive, like it was watching me reclaim it. At 9:17 a.m., a knock again. Softer this time. I checked the Ring feed. Mom stood alone at the porch, clutching her purse like a truce flag. Ilara, sweetheart, please. He didn't mean to. Didn't mean to what? I opened the door halfway. List my house? Lie to guests? Call me abusive to cover his theft? Her lips trembled. He's your brother. And I'm your daughter, I said quietly. Yet you drove here with him. She sighed, glancing back toward the SUV still parked crooked by the dunes. He said you'd overreact. He just wanted to feel useful. Useful people don't steal keys. Her silence said everything. Behind her, Leo stumbled out of the car, holding his phone like a weapon. You think you're smart, here? That video made me lose my job. You ruined my life. I stepped outside, barefoot in the sand, calm as low tide. You did that yourself. He shoved the phone in my face. Delete everything, Ilara. I swear I'll. The sound of police sirens cut through his threat. His expression cracked. 2 patrol cars pulled up at the end of the driveway, lights flashing across the wet boards. I turned to the officer approaching. He entered without consent, changed my online accounts, and attempted to profit off my property. Leo froze. You called them? Yes, I whispered. And this time, they'll listen. For once, it wasn't me who looked dramatic. It was him, standing small against the ocean that no longer answered to him. The officer's tone was professional but cold. Sir, we've had multiple complaints tied to this address and one unauthorized rental listing under your sister's name. Step back, please. Leo tried to laugh it off. It's a family misunderstanding. She's overreacting, again. But the cop had already seen my printed emails and the Airbnb thread. My hands didn't shake when I handed them over. They'd done enough shaking in my life for lesser things. The officer said, we'll need to tow that SUV. It's parked illegally on private property. Leo spun around. You can't, wait, that's our family car. I tilted my head. Is it? Because I paid the last 3 payments when your account overdrafted. The silence was delicious, awkward, salt-heavy, full of truth. Mom whispered, Ilara, don't do this. But the flatbed truck was already reversing down the path, its beeping steady as my breathing. Leo lunged toward it, shouting, his voice cracking against the wind. The officer blocked him, calm but firm. Sir, step aside. I watched from the porch as the SUV was lifted, its wheels spinning helplessly midair, sand spraying beneath it. The same car he'd bragged about buying with his business income. The same one he'd secretly put in my name. He turned back, red-faced. You think you've won? You just made yourself look insane online. Everyone's talking about it. I smiled faintly. Good. Maybe they'll learn something about boundaries. Mom's voice broke. He's still your brother, Ilara. Then he should start acting like one. As the truck drove off, Leo's phone buzzed non-stop, notifications, comments, laughter echoing from the internet he'd once used to humiliate me. Karma had perfect Wi-Fi. When the officers left, I stayed on the porch. The air was thick with sea spray and endings. Leo was pacing by the dunes, talking to someone on speaker. She's lying. Mom, you saw. She's always the victim. His voice carried over the tide, loud and hollow. I looked toward the horizon, where the morning sun cut through the mist like justice, slow, bright, inevitable. Inside the house, the answering machine blinked red. A new message was waiting. The voice on the machine was steady, clipped, and official. This is Detective Owens from the County Property Crimes Unit. Ms. Winslet, we've reviewed the evidence you submitted. We'd like you to come by the station to finalize your statement regarding unauthorized access and attempted fraud. I played it twice. The words landed like soft thunder, Confirmation that this wasn't just family drama anymore. It was documented. Real. Outside, Leo was still pacing, the wind tearing through his words until they broke into fragments. She set me up, cops, ruined me. Mom sat in the SUV's tire tracks, crying quietly, mascara bleeding into the morning. For a second, I almost pitied her. Then I remembered how she'd heart-reacted his abusive post about me instead of calling to ask if I was okay. I closed the window blinds and started gathering paperwork, house deed, chat logs, screenshots of the listing, even the video Aunt June had posted. My laptop hummed with a strange kind of peace. It wasn't war anymore, it was evidence. By noon, I was at the station, signing forms under sterile fluorescent lights. Detective Owens leaned forward. "You did everything right, Ms. Winslet. He can't claim rights to your property, not after those recordings." A strange calm settled over me. "He'll come after me again," I said. "He always does." "Then keep documenting," he replied. "The truth protects itself if you let it." When I returned, the beach shimmered in heat and silence. The SUV's absence left a scar of flattened sand in the driveway. Leo's suitcase still sat near the gate, soaked with sea spray, zipper rusting already. I picked it up and left it by the trash bins. The wind shifted. From somewhere in the dunes, I heard him shouting again, this time not at me, but into his phone. "It's her fault, Mom. I'm the one suffering." But his voice didn't sound powerful anymore. It sounded like something hollow collapsing under its own weight. That night, I sat on the porch, wine glass in hand, moon reflecting off the water. The tide was gentle again, like forgiveness, but I wasn't ready for that. Not yet. The next morning, my phone lit up with numbers I didn't recognize, reporters, bloggers, a podcast host asking if I'd comment on the viral beach house sibling feud. Even strangers wanted to hear my side now. I didn't answer a single one. I just sipped my coffee and listened to the ocean breathing outside my window, steady and loyal. Then came the text from Leo. "Leo, you think you're a hero? You ruined my name. I can't show my face anywhere." Me, maybe start by not stealing things that don't belong to you. 3 dots flickered, disappeared. Then nothing. For a while, I thought that was the end of it. But the internet has a cruel memory. It never forgets, it just archives. Someone had found the Airbnb listing, matched his real name, and pulled his LinkedIn. Airbnb scammer caught by sister was trending on Twitter. His employer suspended him for conduct violation. That night, Mom called. Her tone was smaller than usual. "Ilara, your brother, he's in bad shape. He says he can't go anywhere without people whispering." I didn't post the video, I reminded her. I just stopped lying for him. She hesitated. "His family. You could apologize publicly. Maybe say it was a misunderstanding." I laughed softly. "A misunderstanding doesn't come with a lock change, Mom." She went quiet, and in that silence, something in me unclenched. For the first time in years, I realized I wasn't scared of being the villain in their story. Later, I walked down to the shore. The sand was cool under my feet, the horizon tinted gold and silver. My beach house stood behind me, small but unshakable, like a heartbeat that finally learned its own rhythm. From the distance, headlights appeared again. Leo's old car, dented, loud, desperate. He got out and stood there, hands shaking, face pale. "Ilara," he said, voice breaking. "Can we talk?" The waves hissed in warning, the tide curling higher. I took a slow breath, stepped forward once, and said quietly, "That depends. Are you here to talk, or to take again?" He froze, hands open, as if surrender could rewrite everything he'd done. "I'm not here to take," he said hoarsely. "I just lost everything. My job, my apartment, people keep tagging me in comments. You don't understand what this feels like." I stared at him through the porch light's glow. "No, Leo. I do. It's what it feels like when the world stops believing your version of things." He rubbed his face, pacing in the sand. "I didn't mean to hurt you. Everyone always liked you more. The degree, the job, the house. So you decided to rent my home to strangers to even the score?" I asked, voice calm, the kind of calm that comes after you've drowned once and survived. He looked down. "I thought I could handle it. I needed money. I was ashamed to ask." There it was, the truth, late but real. I should have felt relief. Instead, all I felt was exhaustion. You could have called. You could have said, Ilara, I'm struggling. But you chose deceit over dignity. He swallowed hard. Can't we just start over? I shook my head slowly. You don't start over by pretending the damage didn't happen. You start by owning it. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The ocean filled the silence, whispering against the sand like it was erasing his footprints as he stood there. Finally, I handed him an envelope. Inside was a printed legal notice, temporary restraining order. This isn't to punish you, I said quietly. It's to give me peace. His eyes widened. You're serious? Yes. He took a shaky step back, glancing toward the house. You really called the cops on your own brother, got me fired, now this. I didn't destroy you, Leo, I said softly. You did that all by yourself. He turned toward the waves like they might defend him, but the tide just kept pulling back, cold, precise, cleansing. When he finally walked away, I didn't follow. The sea was already reclaiming his footprints, one by one, like the world had decided to forget him before I even could. Days passed. The headlines faded, the online noise drifted out to sea, and the house finally exhaled. The quiet wasn't lonely, it was owned. I spent mornings on the porch with coffee, watching the gulls spiral above the tide, the same view I'd once bought as a promise to myself, peace after years of chaos. Then one afternoon, an envelope slid under my door. No return address, just my name, Ilara, written in a shaky scrawl I recognized instantly. Inside was a single page. You were right. I lost everything because I couldn't admit I was wrong. I'm staying with a friend for now. I won't bother you again. I'm sorry, not because of what happened online, but because I forgot you were the only one who ever tried to help me. Leo. For the first time in weeks, my hands trembled, not from anger, but release. I folded the note, set it beside the old sand dollar on the windowsill. The same one that had survived every tide. That night, I lit a candle in the living room. The walls seemed softer, the air lighter. I realized the house wasn't just a place anymore. It was a mirror of everything I'd rebuilt. Boundaries, worth, silence that didn't feel like punishment. Mom texted me later, he's gone back to therapy. Thank you for not giving up on yourself. I smiled faintly. For once, she didn't ask me to fix anyone. I stepped outside one last time before bed. The ocean shimmered under the moon, patient and infinite. Somewhere beyond the horizon, my brother was learning what consequence feels like, not revenge, just reflection. I whispered into the wind, you can't take what I've reclaimed. The waves answered with a quiet crash, folding the past into foam. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel like surviving. I felt like living.